I have sound. So let me jump right into it. First of all, I wanted to say I did a video earlier when I first arrived here in Miami talking about, hey, I'm doing a massive event August 1st in Ontario, probably the biggest independent event of 2026 in Canada at an arena where WWE used to go. They have not been in a long time. Shine is going to be involved in it. Some very well-known people are going to be involved in it, including my opponent. And let me just say to John here, you're a very smart man with your opponent guesses based on the clues I gave. And I will announce that opponent in the coming weeks. But the other thing I mentioned was I initially gave Maven the opportunity to be the opponent. I'm glad it didn't work out. This next opponent, I'm telling you guys, this is going to be a match you are going to want to see for multiple reasons. And it's about as big a star as I could actually wrestle that is able to wrestle independence. But a couple people had some comments about Maven, saying that he should just do it rather than be a coward. And another guy said, well, Maven is making a fortune. He big time me. How is Maven bigger than me? He's got a channel that Chris Van Vliet helps him with. That's only been around a few years. I've been doing this since about 2015. And I've been consistent since then. But that actually made me look something up. Maven, how much does he make? Probably around $6,000 a month. Probably. But just look at his estimated earnings compared to my estimated earnings. Are they that far off, guys? And then Maven has practically no Facebook presence at all. Pretty much no Facebook presence. I get 20 million views a month on Facebook. And by the way, if you're not following us on the Hannibal TV Facebook, this is streaming right now live on Facebook too. And there's less ads on Facebook. So not only, and as I said, he doesn't have the longevity I have. He's working with someone else. I don't know what his splits are, but I've been around a long time, and he has zero Facebook presence. So if that guy that's saying, oh, he's big time me because he's bigger than me, he's actually not. I think he's just chicken. But it doesn't matter because the new opponent is better. And then in 8 months, just like he responded to the Just Incredible video 8 months later and didn't even mention the Just Incredible thing. Instead, he addressed something else from the same video. 8 months from now, he's going to do another video mentioning something that I made fun of the way he plucks his eyebrows or something like that, and totally not even address that he didn't even have the respect to respond to me that I challenged him. He didn't even have the respect to take 2 minutes to message me back and say, hey, I'm too scared. I don't want to do it. I'm a pussy. But let's get into the news. Somebody that is not a pussy, Cain Velasquez, former WWE superstar, former UFC champion, and he just got out of jail after serving about 5 years related to shooting somebody that he wasn't trying to shoot. He was trying to shoot someone that I think has allegations related to some sexual abuse type stuff to a child. I don't know if it's his child or someone close to him's child. I don't know the exact story, but he was on a car chase shooting on a highway, ended up shooting the wrong person. There's a whole civil lawsuit going on related to shooting the wrong person, but he kind of got a slap on the wrist for it based on the circumstances 5 years in jail, including the time served, and I'm sure he's going to be on parole for a while. But there's talk that now it might be Velasquez against Lesnar at the White House UFC in main event, which a lot of people would want to watch because Kane destroyed Brock Lesnar in their UFC fight. WWE later hired Kane just to have one match against Brock, where Brock destroyed him as fast as Kane really destroyed him in UFC to try and erase the UFC victory Kane had. And then they fired Kane because I guess they were paying him something like $7 million a year, and they didn't find that he had charisma. But now they own AAA, and I guess Kane is very popular in Mexico. And what he did, he's still looked at as a hero in Mexico, where a lot of people don't care about what he did in the U.S. because of his intentions. But there are some people that think, hey, he ended up shooting the wrong guy and he put a lot of lives in danger, firing off a gun in the middle of a highway. He could have caused a massive accident. But I do, and then there's Eric Bischoff's Real American Wrestling League. At one point in time, Cain Velasquez was fourth in the nation in the U.S. as an amateur wrestler. So there's another opportunity for him. We know he's going to train fighters. He likes wrestling. I think he went to a local show the night he was released from prison. So I would expect to see him back. Ideally, I would like to see him against Lesnar at that White House UFC event. But why would Brock want to get beat up again that bad when Brock is just a millionaire so many times over right now? And I truly don't believe Brock would stay. I think it would be another very quick loss for Brock. After Brock, I mean, he had two really horrible losses in UFC. And let's really look at the guys he beat. Randy Couture, who really shouldn't have even been heavyweight champion at that point and was significantly older than Brock. Mark Hunt, he failed the drug test for Mark Hunt. So that was ultimately ruled a no contest. Frank Mir got one victory, one loss. That's probably his most impressive victory, rather than a couple of no-name guys. He didn't have that many fights. Yes, he managed to be UFC champion. Not at the time when the division was at it. Oh, he also got his butt kicked by, I think it was Alistair Overeem. But yeah, I mean, I'd like to see that the most. I don't think it will happen. I think we will, and it would be a safe fight for Kane to do. I think we'll see Kane maybe in AAA or independent wrestling shows, and we'll see what happens from there. It also depends. Yes, WWE might lose some sponsors over it or get some bad publicity, but WWE, they just discounted WrestleMania ticket prices 25%. They're not exactly at an all-time high in popularity right now. There's less WWE events than ever. House shows are almost non-existent. And while most TV tapings do pretty well, most arenas are about half full, honestly. They go to 20,000 seat arenas, get about 8,000 or 9,000 in there, sometimes 11 or 12. But the trend is showing that there's less and less people. I would predict in a couple of years they'll be back down to 5,000 or 6,000 a show for TV tapings. But let's get what other thing. Sorry, I've been traveling all day. My ears are popping a bit. Jean-Claude Van Damme is wanting to fight Jake Paul because Jake Paul's been doing all of these big boxing money fights. Jean-Claude Van Damme wants to have a fight with Jake Paul where he could kick but not kick below the belt. I'm sick of these Jake Paul gimmick fights. I'm sure they're gonna keep doing them, but now he's shown that he can't beat a real boxer. Yes, he is boxer. He's done well for himself. He's made the most out of the opportunities that he's given himself. He's a great promoter and stuff, but I have zero interest in seeing him do these gimmick matches. And if that were to happen, I sincerely hope Jean-Claude would win, but also a lot of people would suspect it's a work. Maybe he should just join Logan Paul, who again, Logan Paul, there's been stories coming out lately. He's studying superstar Billy Graham. WWE suggested he study Billy Graham, which is interesting because WWE did not help Billy Graham stay alive. When it was basically he had to be either get more money to pay hospital bills or they were going to pull the plug. They ended up pulling the plug. I think they should have kept him alive and used his mind because he was a wrestling genius for as long as possible. But they didn't even want to give him. They didn't even want to give him a job as an advisor. And it's sad because he loved wrestling and he watched it every week. He was familiar with he couldn't stop watching it. He loved it that much. It's just really sad that they took care of certain guys like Dusty Rhodes, but Billy Graham could have helped as much as Dusty to younger guys with promos. But anyways, who knows if the Jake Paul versus Jean-Claude will happen? I guess I'd rather see it than another boxing match. Brody King lost to MJF last weekend, as I don't think anyone expected Brody King to win. But he was getting all that popularity for that F Ice shirt that, I don't know. To me, Brody King, he looks like Bruiser Brody. That's about the main redeeming quality of him. He's a nice guy. I did a short interview with him before, but I mean, there's a glass ceiling in AEW, and I don't think anyone expected Brody King to beat MJF. So, yeah, you got publicity for the F Ice thing, but nobody thought you were going to beat MJF. So, what's the point of having matches where everyone already knows who's going to win? I had no interest in watching it. And for me, I know a lot of people don't like Ice, but from what I understand, they're basically getting rid of the illegal immigrants. And for someone like me who's going through the immigration process in the United States legally with a sponsor, going through the medical testing, going through the background checks, getting all the immunizations and stuff, I really don't have sympathy for people doing it the illegal way. So I don't know why anyone would support illegal immigration. I really don't. I don't get it. I know in Canada we have a lot of refugees that most Canadians actually don't like that we take in Canada because, I mean, a lot of them cause security issues and use programs that basically use taxpayers' money for these refugees that a lot of them cause more trouble than good. In my experience and knowledge of what they do in Canada, we get a lot of the Somalian ones and so forth. But anyways, I'm just saying he has the right to show his opinion, but I don't think they should be so proud that they're getting this attention for the F Ice chance because wrestling is supposed to be an escape from reality. It's not supposed to be something political. I mean, I just watched from the WWE Vault, they posted a house show from London, Ontario from 1991. Very much enjoyed it. That was like a better time in wrestling to me. Just, it wasn't taken as seriously. The wrestlers were so much better characters. You didn't need fancy entrances because they could wrestle well. It wasn't spot fest. Wrestlers sold. But the main thing that I saw from watching this whole card top to bottom was just how much better the characters used to be. And how like they didn't look like your everyday person on the street, where now they all seem to look like that overall, with some exceptions. Some of the complaints about AEW, I guess they had that big event in Australia over the weekend. They did a ladder match where there was a brain buster on a ladder, and it wasn't even the finish of the match. And apparently this match had crazy bumps and blood and all this. And they did that match before the main event, which was Brody King against MJF, which was just a basic technical match. I don't know who thinks Tony Khan is such a great booker, but it doesn't take much booking knowledge to know you shouldn't book a crazy hardcore ladder match before a title match that's going to be your main event. You should have put the title match before the insane ladder match. Because how do you follow that? Apparently there's been a lot in AEW. First of all, they keep hiring people for a bloated roster, but they basically just bring people in and expect that fans already know who they are, just kind of throw them on TV. They appear for a few weeks and they disappear. Then if they're lucky, they'll be put on again later, or some of them just sit out the rest of their contracts and do nothing. It's the most wasteful company in the history of wrestling. And here's another weird AEW thing. Remember, Samoa Joe was pretty much off the radar. Then suddenly he was AEW champion. And now he's back off the radar again. And by the way, he's my former tag team partner. We beat the crap out of Jinder Mahal and Champagne Singh in Calgary during Stampede Week back in 2006. But yeah, it was an honor to team with Joe. I actually really like him. I'm just saying, I'm glad he got the opportunity to be champion, but there was like no demand for him to be champion. It's like, oh, suddenly you're champion, and now where are you? You're gone again. It's so bizarre. Speaking of Jinder Mahal, someone was telling me today they thought he's asking like $5,000 on the independents. I'm like, I don't think anyone's paying $5,000 for Jinder Mahal on the independents. I don't see him getting booked too many places for a guy that's a former WWE champion. And no, guys, I've already beat Jinder Mahal many, many times in Stampede Wrestling. I don't think he would draw flies. He was one of the worst WWE champions of all time. And I mean, this is an easy opponent to beat. He has no legitimate wrestling background. Boring matches, and he hurt Seth Rollins. I believe the reason they probably let him go was because Seth Rollins got an injury in Jinder Mahal's last Raw match. It's just my wild guess. Bianca Belair apparently has a shoulder injury. Someone says Mankind. I don't know. Brian Burson, very intelligent fellow who I ask advice from time to time, says Piper needs a U.S. tour or a birthday hamburger. Piper turned 14 years old on the 13th of February. I hope to see her this summer when I go back to Canada for that big event that I'm putting on. Thomas, there are rumors WB told Tony Khan to take Brody King off TV. Well, Warner Brothers Discovery is being bought by Netflix, so it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with AEW when that sale goes through. Who knows? I mean, he wrestled MJF. I hear he's not on TV this week, but he just lost to MJF. I mean, is Brody King getting any? Is really seriously? It's getting people to talk about the F Ice shirts, but again, did anyone actually expect him to beat MJF? I don't know. What's up with my red neck? I don't know. Might just be the lighting. I think there's like an automatic blur setting on my program, and it might just be because I don't actually think I'm red, but I might be a redneck, yeah. As a lot of wrestlers are. I would have fit in well with the West Texas rednecks. Big guys in AEW never get over. Whatever happened to what's his name? I think Wardlow is still under contract. Frig, he only wrestles like once every year or two. Who's the other guy? Um, Brian Cage. Remember, he had a buzz about him at one point. Yeah, and again, he's Brian Cage has made a lot of money in AEW, but what have they done with him? He was actually better known on the independents. Whatever. I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad for people that have those massive contracts because I have to work very, very hard for my money. Somebody says heel tactics 2026. Is he a politician now? I don't know. I don't know who you're talking about. Wrestlers in the 80s and 90s could actually wrestle. The difference between them and now. I mean, it was just so much better. It was just so much better. I find it. It actually makes me sad to see what it's turned into. But I am going to put on a hell of an event this August. I promise you that. And this is going to be a match worth having. I think not anyone is going to complain about the match I'm going to have on this event. Someone says, I can just imagine a skitty guy with a goatee walking up to Kane as he's eating lunch. Oh, he's making a jail joke. I mean, jail, I was falsely in jail, stuck there for 3.5 weeks before I got released on parole. And then I was ultimately found innocent of the charges. And the person that attacked me that made the false accusations actually was found guilty of attacking me with a weapon. But anyways, in jail, you got gangs and stuff. It's usually done by races. And I'm sure he would have probably been affiliated with people. And I think it would have helped him being a UFC guy. That there would have been people that would have wanted to be friends with him. But yeah, jail's not fun. I think actually American jails has some advantages over Canadians because in some jails in Canada, like the one I was in, it was 3 to a cell with one on the floor, and there was no tablets. All there was to read was a Bible and a few old magazines that were passed down through the year. When I was there was actually a massive fight because someone had spilt like toothpaste on another guy's Maxim magazine that was like 5 years old. And that caused a literal massive fight that caused so much heat for days. Oh, and in real life, what? You spill toothpaste on a 5-year-old Maxim, who cares? But that's just the way tension is when you're incarcerated. It's really not fun. Gunther retired. Gunther retired John Cena and AJ Styles. And if you ask 100 people on the street who he is, maybe one will know. Because he looks like someone that would have been in a jobber in the 80s or 90s, has no legitimate sports background, and is just someone being shoved down our throats. I mean, how can you beat AJ Styles? And another guy that beats John Cena, Austin Theory. How many chances has he had to get over? And he beat John Cena too at WrestleMania. They don't go up. They just don't have it. They're just blessed that they just keep getting chances. They don't really get any more popular, but they keep getting chances and keep making money. Meanwhile, there's no house shows anymore. Only on very rare occasions, and everything's dropping. Anyways, yeah, maybe it wasn't toothpaste, but I honestly think it was. And there's fights for so stupid things in there, like, and for instance, packs of ketchup. You could negotiate packs of ketchup. Like what I would do, I would trade ketchup for bread because I would rather have an extra piece of bread than a packet of ketchup. That's just the way it goes in there. You got to negotiate with everything. 80s and 90s had characters and stories. Someone would leave a hot stinker on my floor. All right. Very interesting. Gunther retiring Cena and AJ was a terrible idea. Yeah. I don't know. I don't see anything interesting about Gunther. He has skinny legs. He lost a lot of weight after being flabby, but he doesn't have a muscular body. He's not good at promos. I don't know. I don't find anything good about him. He didn't even put that choke. He didn't even have his hooks in when he did that choke to John Cena. So that shows me he has no grappling background. Don't spill the toothpaste on Billy Jack Haynes' 35-year-old copy of Pro Wrestling Illustrated. It's funny. I randomly got that call from Billy Jack Haynes last week where he said he was going to call me every week. We'll see if he calls me again this week. But he rambled on for about 45 minutes, still giving conspiracy theories. But he said something interesting. He said where he is incarcerated, he tried to tell them the story that he was this big drug dealer in the 80s. And they didn't believe him. They don't believe him. They think he's delusional. They want him to plead. They want him to plead guilty, but guilty because of insanity. He doesn't want to do that because then he'll be stuck incarcerated for the rest of his life. But I like. There's parts of him that I like, but I do find he's dangerous because, for instance, I don't know if he realizes what he's done or if he's delusional enough that he actually thinks somebody else killed his wife, his widow, or whatever, his ex-wife, whatever you want to call her. Because the way he was telling me he was saying that an autopsy was done on his guinea pig, and the guinea pig was killed, and a dog was killed before that. Then the wife was killed, and he said, I wouldn't have shot my wife. I would have just overdosed her because it would have been harder to prove, which would have made sense. But apparently it was his gun that killed her. I don't know. I find it hard to believe anyone else would have done it other than him. But it's not going to trial. He's going to be in the mental, the psych ward. Apparently, it's the same psych ward where they filmed One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest with Jack Nicholson in Salem, Oregon. So there's an interesting fact. Billy told me that. I thought he was making it up, and then I checked it out after he was telling the truth. So who knows? Maybe he's telling the truth about other things. I don't think his lawyer's good. I'll agree with him on that. I don't think he has a good lawyer. Sadly, he can't afford anything better than the one he's given. But we'll see what happens. We know that he's not going to kill anyone else while he's locked up, so that's a good thing. Brian says the guinea pig autopsy would have a higher rating than AEW. I agree. I would rather watch a guinea pig autopsy than AEW, which is just very predictable. But I really don't understand it. We got 4 hours of TV a week, very few wrestlers over. There seems to be a group of wrestlers that have a lot of control over Tony Khan, and certain wrestlers can never get above them. I mean, Mercedes Moné, she only wrestled like 14 matches last year. She's getting $5 million a year, and now she's on a hiatus because she needs some time off. It's just like, if my ratings weren't great, I would have all my top stars that could possibly pop a rating on every single show, and I would stop hiring people that are just going to be dead weight. I just don't get it. Tony is too nice to be a booker. I don't know. I think he really likes what he books. This is all about him. Think about it for him. He is now famous. He was not famous before. And there are some AEW fans. Like Dave Meltzer, for instance, is an AEW fan. He likes that acrobatic, unrealistic style of wrestling. It's funny. So I saw some comments. I've been posting these Bad News Brown interview clips that I bought the rights to. And some people said Bad News Brown couldn't wrestle. This guy's a legitimate Olympic medalist in judo. Bad News had a realistic style, and it's these same people that will say Will Ospreay, who's probably never been in a real fight in his life, and does all this acrobatics and leg slaps and all this crap. They'll say Will Ospreay, he's a great wrestler, but Bad News sucks. To me, to be a good wrestler, you have to make things look real. And Bad News, if nothing else, you got to admit, he sold his character well. His character was believable. He's not the type of guy that you would want to go and approach and ask for an autograph because he projected a scary image. There's not many like that. Like even, for instance, Obafemi, who they're giving a big push to, he recently took a picture with Omos, another heel, with two of the ladies wrestlers, all friendly, with the ladies sitting on their lap. Hey, we're all friends here. We just sit around backstage and hang out with big smiles on our faces. Why? What's the point of posting that? Hey, just in case you forgot, we're all friends backstage. Take a look. I know I play a big mean character. Again, there's another guy, Omos. Why keep him around? He's had so many chances to get over. There's other giant wrestlers out there that deserve chances, but some people just get spots for life. Watch my Blood Hunter Thurston Rage. The giant I fought in that is actually taller than Omos. And he played for the Washington Wizards. They won't give him a tryout for some reason. No, it's actually hot, my friend. I'm in Miami, Florida. That's why my shirt's open. Tony Khan should watch the Gary Hart interviews on how to book. Well, as I said, I think Khan likes how he books. He books for his own entertainment. He's obsessed with gimmick matches. He's obsessed with owning wrestlers, having as many, even if it doesn't make business sense, let's just hire all these people so I can use them whenever I want. Even if I only use them 2 or 3 times out of a 3-year contract, I just want to own them. The current products create those fans that will say those things about Bad News Brown and Hype Osprey. Yes, because to me, I really have a different opinion. I don't consider a spot fest good wrestling. It doesn't look realistic to me. You have to make me believe. You have to make me believe for me to think a match is good. Anyways, guys, it's almost 3:30 here. Thanks for the interaction. Thanks for your comments, Brian. I wish everyone a good night.